Hi, I'm Brady Zenz.
And I'm Ben Stone, and this is the 12-6 podcast.
We're two high school baseball players who love to talk trades and free agency news. We're going to try to upload a few times a week and update you all through the form of a podcast. So, our first segment is going to be predicting where the two big name free agency shortstops will sign during this offseason. So, the only two left are Carlos Correa and Dansby Swanson. So personally, I believe that Carlos Correa will go to the Dodgers, even though the Dodgers said they don't want to pursue him. They also said the same thing about Trevor Bauer, ended up signing him last second, even though they weren't even really in the running. So personally, that's 9 years, 290 million. Seems about right to me. What do you think?
Yeah, this is a big move right here if the Dodgers do it. This already makes them title contenders if they weren't already. Um, Correa is a wonderful player with a 291 average last year, 22 home runs, 64 RBIs. Doesn't strike out much with 121 strikeouts and 61 walks. Also is not very healthy last year. I feel like if he had a full season, that's definitely a 320 batting average for sure. You're gonna
Wow.
get more out of him if you're with the Dodgers,
320
because he
seems
already.
like a high batting average to me.
And that's something Carlos Correa will do for you if you're the Dodgers. You can develop talent so well.
That is
With the
true.
addition of Carlos Correa, would do great.
And I don't really think that the Dodgers right now are a first place team. We'll talk more about divisions and standings later. But I think there's a few more teams in that division now that are willing to compete. I mean, they lost Trey Turner and Cody Bellinger during the offseason. Clayton Kershaw, they re signed. So good on them on that. But I think they really do need to make a big move here.
Being completely honest, I think Carlos Correa is a Cardinal.
All right.
Cardinals
Okay.
deeply need a shortstop. Paul DeYoung is not the answer, and they've wanted a shortstop for many years now. And I think Carlos Correa goes to the Cardinals on a 10-year, $325 million contract.
Okay. All right. I'm not gonna complain. I think that that's possible. It's very possible. So next shortstop, Dansby Swanson. So
Yeah.
personally, I believe that he will be an Atlanta Brave again once next season. 5 years, 150 million seems about right for him. Solid shortstop. Did have a career year last year, but he is known to be a little inconsistent at the plate. He's batted pretty much a career like 250. So that's not the greatest, and obviously to pay someone that much money to do a 250 with probably 20 home runs, I'd say that's not the best deal. But if he can continue what he did this past season, I think that's going to be a pretty good deal.
Yeah, I agree. I'd say that production, if you want to get less money and kind of get the same player, that's Kyle Farmer from the Reds right there. They're two similar players, just Dansby is better at defense. That's kind of it with his Gold Glove stellar defense.
And I personally, I find him a little bit more attractive.
Yeah, as you can see on the screen, he is an attractive man. Yeah, I can agree with that.
So
But
also, I do think the Braves want to keep together their core of players. Obviously, a few seasons in a row here, making the playoffs. Didn't make a deep push this past season, but they have that young core: Michael Harris, Spencer Strider, Ronald Acuna, trying to keep that core together as much as they can. Lost Freddie Freeman last year, so I think they want to try to keep them together as much as possible.
yeah, I totally agree with that. I don't see him coming back to Atlanta. I see him in an Angels uniform. They desperately need a shortstop because Andrew Velasquez was awful with a 190 batting average.
Yeah,
He was terrible hitting, but a great defender. There's upside to his defense with 10 defensive runs saved and a 190 batting average.
yeah,
He's a great role player when you need him late in the game, and he won't be able to hit. That's what you need.
yeah, yeah.
With a 277 batting average, 25 home runs, 49 walks, and 96 RBIs, I think he's a terrific player. I think he only progresses after he gets his confidence back. And with the World Series and bouncing from the playoffs by the Phillies last year, I think he'll only improve and get better from last year in Anaheim.
Okay. Angels could definitely use a shortstop. So
Yeah, they could use a
next
lot more, and
segment,
you'll hear about that later.
we got the standing predictions. So first off, we're gonna start off with the AL East here. Personally, I find it, and this is based off of their signings so far and how deep of a push I we think that they could go. So right now, right away, I'm gonna go Yankees 1, Blue Jays 2, Red Sox 3, Rays 4, Orioles 5. And so the reason I think this is because Yankees obviously they haven't made really any moves yet, but they didn't need to. They proved that they can do just fine with the team that they had last year, winning second most in the AL, and they're a really good baseball team. They got their number one guy, Aaron Judge, back, so that's really the only thing they needed to do to not be hated on. Red Sox, or actually no, Blue Jays in second. They have a really good team all around. They didn't put the pieces together quite as well as I thought they were going to last year. But maybe after progressing a year with each other, they put it together a little better. Red Sox just signed that guy from the Japanese leagues, and Rays, solid team. Couldn't I could not see them being in front of these guys though. They somehow figure out a way to do it every year, but I don't know how. I don't know how.
Yeah, Brady, this is a great division here.
It is. What are your
I
predictions?
think my predictions are Blue Jays first. I think they're a well-rounded young team. I think they're way more well-rounded than the Yankees are. They're only going to regress, and I don't like the Judge deal because I know he hit 62 home runs with this is gonna be controversial, but the balls were juiced for him to hit all those 62 home runs. Manfred did that on purpose. We know that. I
Yeah.
don't see the whole team getting better. I just don't think they have the pitching to do it. They have Garrett Cole and Nestor Cortez, and that's kind of it for their
Along with that,
rotation.
also, just to add on to what you're saying, they lost
Yeah.
Jamison Tyon too.
That's a great pitcher. Gets you over 100 innings. He's going to be a guy that's in the playoffs doing well for the Cubs
I
if
don't
they
believe the
make it.
Cubs make the
We'll
playoffs,
see.
but we'll
We'll
get it on.
see if they do. Let's see with our predictions. I say the Yankees, or it could be Yankees or Rays second. It's a flip up for me.
Who'd you say was going to be
Both are
first?
great teams. What?
Who do you think is going to be first?
I think the Blue Jays. They're a well-rounded team. They're young. They're hungry. They're savvy. They want what the Mariners had last year. They want that luck. They just didn't get the luck in the playoffs. They with Alek Manoah, he didn't come up like he said he would.
Mm-hmm.
That was disappointing.
Yep.
Following up, I have the Rays in third, but the Yankees and Rays could flip flop. They're both regressing, I'd say. I never know if the Rays are regressing because I never know what they do because they're always going to be good, but you don't hear about the signings they do. But Zach Eflin was the biggest contract they've ever handed in franchise history. Huge. Great bullpen piece, or maybe a starter. They can develop him to be great. Orioles are fourth for me. I feel like they've improved a
Wow.
lot. I feel like they've improved a lot. I think their team is young, and they looked great last year. They looked like the winning baseball team in August and July. Then they fell off in September, which was disappointing. Would have liked that for them to make the playoffs.
So you're saying you got the Red Sox in last place?
Yes, I don't see the pitching is terrible right now. They've got a great outfield with Verdugo, the new addition Yoshida, and whoever's gonna play out there, Kike Hernandez.
Yeah, I mean,
And losing Bogarts was huge.
yeah, that is
Just
huge.
happened
That
last
is
night.
huge. That is huge. But
That's their
personally,
leader.
Personally, I find the Orioles being in fourth place a little bit of a stretch because I feel like they had that 1 month where they really were doing so good. I find that a bit of a luck strand for them. I don't think that they're the team that they showed they were in that month and a half, 2 months that they were playing so well. It's not really that short term few months that get you into the playoffs. You're going to need to play well throughout the whole season. They weren't consistent enough to do that. So really, them not making too many moves right now doesn't help their chances for me.
What makes you think the Red Sox are going to be consistent?
Well, personally, I find they're gonna do more moves. I believe Masataka Yoshida very very good in the Japanese league. I'm very high on him. Think
Yeah, he's great.
he will be a very great player for them, and I think they can upgrade their pitching for sure. I I don't think the Orioles pitching's much better personally though.
The Orioles need to improve on their pitching. That's what made them get knocked out in playoff contention. But the Red Sox aren't much better pitching. They got Sale, who's banged up, and their rotation is just not very great.
And
Whitlock, he's good.
But they also made a bullpen signing of Kenley Jansen, who, when healthy, can be a very decent closer for them. In big
For
games,
sure.
he's proven he can't show up. But if he can be healthy, he'll close you some good games.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like he can get you to the playoffs, not get you to a championship winning team. I still
They got
think
a
that's a fifth place team. They've got Devers at third. I don't know who will play short yet. Maybe Duran.
Mayor.
Yeah, good options. Good young options. I like that.
They got
But
options.
Devers is a great player. That's definitely their best player for the season. MVP candidate. We'll see.
And they're gonna need to re-sign him. He's a free agent after this season.
Yeah, they need to extend this man. They need to do better than they did with X-Man, Xander Bogaerts.
Yeah, for sure. So we're gonna go on to the next division here. We have the American League Central. Personally, for me it's gonna be Guardians number 1, Twins number 2, White Sox number 3, Tigers number 4, Royals number 5.
Yeah, that's not a bad option. Guardians for sure first. I feel like they have more potential than any other team in this division. It's a lackluster division. There's not a lot of talent, I'd say, going on. My prediction is Guardians, White Sox, Twins, Tigers, and Royals. There's just not a lot going on.
Mm. The Guardians just made the signing of Josh Bell. I think that'll be great for their team. Pretty good average batter. Good for power a little bit too. So I think that's a pretty good signing for them. I don't care what they had to pay for him. I think going out and making moves hasn't really been part of the Guardians' lifestyle recently, in recent years. So I think going out making a signing early, this is big for them.
Yeah, for sure. I think showing that they're going to go out and get guys, doesn't matter who it is, just showing that you'll get a good piece for your organization shows the fans that they want to win and they want to get a good player and good bat. He fell off a little bit after the trade deadline to the Padres. Great 310 hitter from the Nationals, and then when he went to the Padres, fell off a cliff. I feel horrible about that because those Padres, if they had him, that would have been huge for them going into the World Series or the NLCS if they beat the Phillies.
Yeah, I mean, he, like you said, was a 310 batter coming over from the Nationals, ended the season with a 266 average, 17 home runs. So not a bad season. I think it's a very Guardians move. I think it's a pretty solid move.
I feel like it's a little too much though.
Yeah, he got paid quite a bit. Maybe they're hoping to see that first half of the season, Josh Bell. They're expecting that out of him.
Yeah, for sure. He needs to hit right-handed more.
Mm-hmm. So, next division. AL West. Personally, I got the Houston Astros in first. I have the Seattle Mariners in second. Los Angeles Angels in third. Texas Rangers 4. Oakland A's 5.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I got Astros, Mariners, Angels, Rangers, A's. I totally agree with what you say. We did not do these predictions together, okay? I know it seems like it, but no. Our Angels, we're huge Angels fans. I feel like we'll get some big signings. Perry's cooking. I feel like Kodai Senga and Dansby Swanson would be great additions to the Angels and could possibly bolster them to second in the division after those signings. But right now, as we speak, they're a third place team in the division.
Yeah.
Astros, defending champs, are the best team in the division and the best team in baseball. There's no doubt they are. They develop great pitching, hitting. Their minor leagues are stacked. They're just a beautiful team that can develop talent. Now the
So,
Mariners, they they lack power. I don't see any of them other than Julio Rodriguez and Kyle Rayleigh going for power. Ty France is a lackluster power hitter. He hits for like a 260 batting average. JP Crawford was one of the worst hitters in the league last year. Eugenio Suarez goes for about 40 home runs, getting 34. Julio Rodriguez is a sneaky MVP candidate, but we'll talk about that next time. He's he'll hit you 30 bombs, get you 30 stolen bases. That's your MVP for the Mariners. Their pitching's amazing. Logan Gilbert out of the bullpen, maybe out of the starting rotation sometimes. Robbie Ray is great. Great signing for them. They've bolstered their team so much since they had it last year. Robbie Ray saved their team
hmm.
and their hitting.
So Angels right now, I feel like another something very smart they could do, and I don't know how well it would work. Didn't work well for the Giants. They tried to get a big name player from the Warriors, Steph Curry, to try and recruit Judge to the Bay Area. Didn't end up working out their way, but I'd love to see the Angels try to go out after Kodai Senga and get Ohtani, start talking about him, hype up the Angels a bit, try to get him on the Angels. I'd love to see him on the Angels. He's a very, very good pitcher. So that would
sure.
really help this rotation. I don't know how likely it is we get Dansby or a good shortstop and Senga. I don't find that very realistic. If it's one or the other, give me Senga. We could put Fletcher at short, Rengifo at second. I don't find that too bad, especially if Rengifo ends up doing what he was doing at the end of last season. He was popping off. A's signed Almeidas Diaz. Decent little signing for them. I mean, going from the Astros to the A's, money talks. I mean, no one really wants to be on the A's, but if you're getting paid a few million to go there, I guess, why not? Mariners, obviously, very, very good team. I think they could sneak ahead of the Astros, actually, this season. Rangers could be over the Angels, possibly, but I don't know. It kind of depends how long Jacob deGrom will be out for this season.
I don't see the A's winning over 65 games this year. I see them winning 61, 60. That's dead last in the division. See the Rangers winning 74. Don't see them getting over 75. This is a very competitive division from first to third. All of them could be playoff teams for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I see the Rangers probably at 95. I see Houston probably at 99. Angels probably around 81. Texas probably around 75 range. And then A's probably, like you said, like 61, 62.
Yeah. I feel like to switch those around. I don't think the Mariners are as good as everyone's talking about. I don't see it. They're not threatening, I'd say.
They're a pretty good team, though. I mean, got to give them credit where credit's due.
They had a great season last year. I think it was a breakout season. I don't see them repeating it. As a biased Angels fan, this is totally unbiased. I just don't think the Mariners are as good as, let's say, the Blue Jays.
Yeah, I mean
I don't or the
roster
Guardians.
wise, the Blue Jays on paper have a better team, but it's really Seattle fans, the environment that really gets this team going, I believe. And once they get that momentum, I feel like it's kind of hard to come back from.
Well, Angels do lead in attendance out of the AL West. We were fifth or sixth last year. In past years, we've been in the top seven.
There's
I
kind
feel like
of
we're rocking a lot
yeah, but the problem with that is the Mariners have a better baseball team than the Angels.
at the moment.
Yeah, at the moment.
But the Mariners don't cause a threat to the rest of the AL. As you can tell by the Astros series, they put up a good fight. Astros had to put them down.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I guess. I think they're a better team than what you're giving them, but I think we both agree they're above a 90-win team.
I don't know about that, Brady.
All
I
right,
think
we'll have to
88.
wait. We'll have to
I
wait
think
and
88
see.
wins.
We'll have to wait and see.
All right.
So next division we got the NL East. So
Ooh.
I think this one is going to be Phillies 1, Mets 2, Braves 3, Marlins 4, Nationals 5.
Yeah, good picks. Mine's a little different.
Mm.
I'd say the Mets are first, Phillies are second, Braves are third, Marlins are fourth, and Nationals are fifth. You know, Brady, I don't see the Phillies being so great to the trade deadline or to the All-Star break. The team doesn't hold up till then without Harper due to Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, definitely gotta take into account. But he won't be gone for like half of the season. I think he'll be gone for like few games at the beginning of the year. But they'll be fine. They'll be fine. They just signed
I
Trey
don't think so.
Turner. I think Trey Turner will have a very, very good season. Bohm is getting his hype back. You know, more momentum coming from last season. The fans hated him. Then he had a breakout year. Everyone loved him. And I think they're going to take the momentum from the World Series. Like, even though they lost, nobody really expected them to make the World Series. And I think they really will take that momentum into the next season.
I can definitely see that. I don't see that the Phillies are going to be better than the Mets. I think the Mets are a better team.
The Mets,
I like their rotation a lot more. I think both their rotations balance out. They're similar, but Scherzer is better than Nola. The Mets 1-2 punch is better than the Phillies 1-2 punch.
yeah,
Quintana for the Mets is good. Ranger Suarez for the Phillies is good. But let's see where Chris Bassett ends up. Maybe he's a Met.
maybe he's a Philly.
Yeah, either or.
But the Mets are gonna Met, so you never know.
Never know. Well, what do you think about the Braves?
I think they're a very solid team, but I'm gonna need to see more moves out of them. They haven't
Yes, for
really
sure.
made too many moves. I can't think of a move that they've made so far. But if they don't re-sign Dansby after not signing anyone up to this point, I can't see a huge offseason for them. I mean, they're waiting too long. Haven't seen their name in too many rumors. So who knows? Maybe they're working in silence, but I don't know what they're doing over there.
Yeah,
Very solid
I
team
don't
though.
trust them too much
What's that?
at the moment. Dansby is one of their key players from Georgia himself. Those are the guys they want to lock down. Guys who are homegrown, Matt Olson, Dansby, Michael Harris. Those are guys from around Atlanta that they want to keep, homegrown talent, and from the Braves organization. With that being said, they haven't made enough moves or any moves to make me say, wow, this is a great team. They should be first place. Obviously, they have Steven Strider, great pitcher, Max Fried, Great pitcher.
I just got to correct. It's Spencer Strider.
Steven. Is it Spencer?
It is.
Spencer Strider.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Great pitcher. Lots of strikeouts. Maybe a Cy Young next year.
Possibly.
Possibly. Austin Riley's a great player. I see them getting third place with 90 wins.
Wow.
90 to 93 wins. I think they're still a talented team. I don't see them beating the Phillies or Mets yet.
So you think
They haven't done
they're a
enough.
playoff team? You think?
Yes, I think 3 of the NL East teams are going to make it.
They definitely can. 100% is definitely possible.
Yes.
Marlins and Nationals, I think we both know where we stand on them. Both are kind of
Yeah.
rebuilding. Marlins could definitely be good if they wanted to be. If they wanted to go out and make moves, surround their young talent with some more great talent, but their GM just doesn't want them to.
The narrative is that they're a small market team. They don't want to sign free agents. They just get homegrown talent. But they need to end that narrative. It's always been that way. They don't get the guys from international free agency to be great. They get Yelich and Stanton, and Stan wins an MVP in Miami, and then he goes to New York and goes to the ALCS. Christian Yelich himself went to the NLCS against the Dodgers and won an MVP and almost won two. Those are trades that can't happen with your organization if you want to win baseball games.
Unless,
Then
of course, you're trading prospects away, which you could trade away prospects who end up being greats, but it can help your team in the short term to win now. They can definitely win now. Jazz Chisholm, Sandy Alcantara, Pablo Lopez, they have a solid young team. If they wanted to surround their team with more young studs, you can trade some of your prospects, trade some of your players that are underperforming, but other teams are willing to take a chance on. If you want to surround your team, win. Win now, make some trades, go sign some free agents. They could definitely have a playoff team if they really wanted to, but they just don't want to.
Give them 3 years. Give them 3 years. Mets are going to decline. Phillies will decline. I feel like the Marlins, if they improve this young squad this year, if they get up to 75 wins, I see them improving. But they'll have to show me this year or next year if they want to contend, because the Mets and Phillies are getting older and the Marlins are young. So if they want to contend, it has to be in the next couple years.
Yeah,
Not this year.
I think 2 years from now would be a great season for them to actually be able to win. But
Yeah,
they're
and
going
they
to need to
go
lock
out
up Sandy Alcantara for a long time. That guy can if you let that guy escape from your team, you're doing something wrong and you should be fired.
For sure, for sure.
Like, you can't let up Stanton, Real Muto, Yelich. You can't let up all of those guys and on top of that lose Sandy Alcantara. If they do all of that, there's no reason for anyone that was responsible for Giancarlo Stanton and Yelich to be on the team still.
Yeah, that was awful. That was awful management.
So that's on to the next division here. So we got the National League Central. I personally, I got Cardinals in first, Brewers in second, Cubs in third, Pirates in fourth, Reds in fifth.
Yeah. Who'd you say for second again?
I had the Brewers.
Yeah, you can flip-flop the Cubs and Brewers, second and third. Brewers are pretty lackluster on hitting. I think the Cubs are pretty good at hitting. They just got no pitching, and now they got Jameson Taillon. I think that's their number one ace. That's their ace guy they want.
Okay, but
Or Kyle Hendricks.
if you're using Jameson Taillon as your ace, you're not a great team. He had nearly a 4 ERA last season. Let's not pretend this guy is some great pitcher. He's an innings eater who will be decent for you, but he's not gonna be some stellar pitcher.
For sure, I agree. The Brewers always develop good pitching. Corbin Burns and Brandon Woodruff can show you that. They're great pitchers and can get in the top five Cy Young. Corbin Burns with the Cy Young. That can lead you to a second place in your division. I see them going to the playoffs? No, they're not a playoff team. They are very lackluster on hitting. Not even close to the Cardinals, where they got pitching and hitting. Where if the Cardinals get a shortstop, then they'll be very, very good.
And
While they just got Wilson Contreras from the Cubs, division rival,
yep,
that's going to be fun to watch.
yeah, that's what I was gonna note on. I feel bad for Cubs fans. I really do. To lose out on one of the only remaining members of your World Series to your rival like that. That sucks.
Yeah, Dexter Fowler and Wilson Contreras are the two 2016 Cubs World Series winners to go to the Cardinals
And John Lester did too for a short amount of time there.
before the Cubs.
No, after too.
No, it was the Nationals, I think, right?
Yeah, I think he also did go to the Cardinals, I believe.
That's awful.
Yeah.
You just can't do that after you go to from the Cubs to the Cardinals, both classy franchises.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to if I spent as long as I did with the Cubs, I wouldn't allow myself to go to the Cardinals.
Yeah. What do you think of the Reds? What do you think? I don't see them winning over 76 games. I see them close to 76.
Wow. What?
I think last year they were awful until, let's say, free agent. Oh, no, sorry, not free agency. All-Star break. Then they turned it up a little bit. Kyle Farmer, not bad. They've got little talent. I like it.
I don't see them winning near 76 games. I have them winning 69 at their very peak. They will be good in coming years though. Hunter Green will be a stud. They have Ellie De La Cruz, Noel V. Marte, all very, very
Yeah.
good prospects. So in the next 2-3 years, I think they'll be contenders in a few years.
They for sure have a loaded minor league system. They're one of the best. They're gonna get there at second place. I see in the next 2 to 3 years.
Mm.
They'll beat out the Brewers because Corbin Burns will probably leave. Brandon Woodruff will probably leave, and the Cubs will decline
So
or even get better. And the
so
Cardinals are gonna be the best.
if you said you agree with my list except just flip flop Brewers and Cubs, I had Pirates above the Reds. So do you have the Reds above the
Ooh,
Pirates?
yes, I do. I don't think the Pirates are gonna contend
I
at
think they're
all.
not going to contend, but I think they have some good young players that can get them a lot more wins than the Reds. Because they got Brian Reynolds, they have Key Brian
Which is
Hayes,
probably leaving.
O'Neal Cruz. I think they have a chance to be a little better than the Reds. Probably about 71 wins, 70 wins.
With what you're saying about Brian Reynolds, he's gonna get traded. I hope.
Well, the Pirates organization, they said they're not trading him. They said they offered him a huge deal that would have made him a Pirate for life. He declined it, and then right after requested a trade.
Like you said about Dodgers not wanting Bauer and then getting him, maybe that's something they don't want to tell the public
Yeah,
about. I feel like O'Neal Cruz, he strikes out a lot. Not a great defender. Has a great arm, though, and great power.
yeah,
But his biggest issues, his flaws, are defense and contact. He's not a great contact hitter. They don't have a lot of contact. Brian Hayes is good at third, though. Great defensive player. I don't see anywhere else where they're going to make something happen. They don't got great pitching. The Reds are coming up. They've got decent pitching, I'd say.
mm-hmm. All
So,
right.
yeah.
So next division, NL West, the final
Yes.
division. So I believe it'll be number one Padres as of now. Padres. Then I have Dodgers. Then Giants. Then Cardinals. Then Rockies. Or not Cardinals.
Cardinals.
Diamondbacks.
So you think the Diamondbacks will be worse than the Rockies?
No, I think they'll be better than the Rockies.
Okay, good. Okay.
I think that their young outfield is very very good. You got some of these guys that were very under the radar last year. Jake McCarthy batted a 283. Not many people know about him. He was very very good in 99 games, batted 283.
Yeah.
And Padres right now with their signing sprees seem to
Yeah.
be unstoppable. The Dodgers have lost a lot of their guys. So in honor, I just don't think that they can contend with the Padres right now.
Padres seem like they have an open pocket for money, don't they?
Yeah, they're kind of the team to beat right now in the NL, I think.
For sure. They've
Especially when
got
Tatis comes
loaded
back.
talent. Yes. And April 22nd is when he comes back.
Mm.
Watch out. Watch out, league. He's coming back. El Nino, the best shortstop in the league. You got it here.
Whoa, no,
You
okay.
got it here.
All right.
So
So,
my list is the Padres, Dodgers, Diamondbacks, Giants, Rockies.
mm, all right.
Like we had the same thing with the Padres, only getting better. They're with the signing of Bogarts was an amazing pickup. They needed it. With
Yeah.
putting Kim at second, great defensive player, comes in clutch on hitting. Cronenworth is a great hitter, ninth best second baseman last year, and I was gonna play first base with Machado at third, second MVP. Tatis, MVP candidate, you know that. Grisham in center, he's gonna serve you a decent bat with high defensive ability, and Juan Soto in left, who's a great hitter, gets on base, it's gonna hit second, and obviously won the home run derby last year. Great hitter,
Hmm.
and he'll serve you an okay fielding percentage. He's all right.
Yeah.
I don't know how he was up there for Gold Glove, but
Yeah. No,
that's
that
not up to
didn't.
me.
That he won the Gold Glove, right? Yeah.
No, he did not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if he did, there we'd be rioting in San Diego right now.
Yeah, that would be that'd be a problem.
And they have a great rotation. Three-headed monster: Yu Darvish, Blake Snell, Joe Musgrove. Nasty.
Sean Manaea is decent.
He's not. He had a 5 ERA last year, and with Mike Clevenger leaving, they aren't looking back at it. Chicago White Sox got him.
I still think Sean Manaea is a
I'm
decent
sorry.
arm.
He has high upside, but he's lately he's not been a good pitcher. Sadly, I want him to do well.
Yeah, I mean with the Padres last year had nearly a 5 ERA, like you said. That is that's a problem. They a team that wants to go to the playoffs cannot be having someone with a 5 ERA. I don't think that any team should have a guy with a 5 ERA being their four starter.
Yeah, that's just not going to get you a winning squad for any team. Plus, not going to get you first place against the Dodgers. Remember that. You're going against the Dodgers, the team that's been second in 2021, and other than that, won the division. So, Dodgers are a powerhouse. Padres are now looking like a powerhouse. So I'm excited to see where the Padres land. And you already know about the Dodgers. Great team. They've
Yeah.
got Gavin Lux maybe at shortstop, if that's the route they go.
Yeah.
Bellinger just left to Chicago for $17.5 million for a year. The Cubs. Mookie Betts is still amazing, as always. Mr. Smile. That's Lindor.
Yeah, that's Lindor.
Freddie Freeman, obviously going to get you over 20 bombs, over 100 RBIs, and a great defensive glove over there. Justin Turner's, if he comes back, he's a great leader over there. Trace Thompson's pretty good. I like what he does. He's a really good talent.
I mean,
And they're pitching, of course. Buehler coming back, Kershaw.
yeah,
Power.
they have a very good rotation there. I don't think
I like
Trace
the
Thompson. I don't think Trace Thompson is a day one starter for the outfield. Think that he's good for the 25 games that the Dodgers put him in every single year, but I can't see him playing an entire season at that level.
Well, we're gonna see that. I think he's gonna be a starter, either in center or left. We're gonna see him play. We'll give him a shot next year.
Yeah.
So who's your third place? Giants, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see them declining. They're an old team. They didn't get a big bat other than Mitch Haniger, and that's not a big time player. He's not going to get you to the playoffs. He's not the one guy that will get you there, like Aaron Judge could. Single-handedly did it for the Yankees last year.
Yeah, I see them being a third place team, kind of like the Angels, probably around the 75 win range. I don't see them. They're not making a playoff push, I don't think, this year. I mean, yeah, I could see them winning up to 80 games. I could see that. Haniger is a solid outfielder. We haven't really seen much of him, though. He's been injured. He's a good home run bat. Him and Jock Peterson will be two-headed monster in that lineup. But besides those two, there's not much to be excited about in that lineup. Especially with Rodon being a free agent, if they don't resign him, I cannot really see this team being a playoff team.
Yeah, they don't have much pitching. That was their big thing for their winning season, winning 107 games. Now they don't have it.
Yeah, I mean, Webb is a solid pitcher. He's not... I could see him being an ace on a team, but it's just... I feel like if you have nothing behind him, then he's not going to do you any good.
He's a contact pitcher. That's what he is.
Yeah, and, they got Yastrzemski. He's solid. But Yastrzemski, Peterson, Haniger, that's a good outfielder. They have a good outfield core. Their infield is not very great. They got Crawford and Belt, two really old guys. So
I think leaving.
Belt, yeah, I believe he's a free agent.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they don't got much going on right there in the infield. And so
they got Joey Bart, a catcher. Decent catcher.
I mean,
he's serviceable.
What's that?
He's a serviceable catcher.
I honestly don't think so. He batted .215, 11 home runs. So, offensively, he's not giving you much to work with. I don't know exactly how good he is defensively, if I'm honest, because I don't watch too many Giants games. But I haven't seen his stats defensively. His offensive stats really don't impress me, though.
Who are they going to get to make this team better?
I honestly just say you got to re-sign Rodon. That's kind of my move for them. You got to keep him. You got to keep him. He put up a great season for you last year, and you can't just throw him away.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially if you want to contend this year, you're going to need better pitching than that. Going up against teams that have an insane offenses like the Dodgers and Padres, you're going to need better pitching than just Logan Webb.
Yeah, I agree.
So, next segment, we got Guess the Free Agent MLB Player. So, my player's hints are most recently he was with an AL team, he's a pitcher, and he's been on two teams with his career. Ben's player, obviously, catcher. 2016 is when he made his debut, and he was most recently with an NL team. So, I really don't know where to begin guessing yours. So he's a catcher, 2016. I would have said Christian Vasquez, but he played with an NL team last year.
No, he's not Christian Vasquez. Good guess, though.
So he's currently a free agent.
Yes.
Do you have a guess for mine?
Well, I have questions.
Mm-hmm.
Has he only stayed in the American League?
No, he's not.
Okay.
He's been on, two teams. Another one I would have guessed was maybe Gary Sanchez, but he was last with an NL team.
No.
Oh, wait. I think I might know who yours is. I'm gonna let you guess. I'll let you guess. I'll give you 2 guesses and then I'll guess mine.
I'm gonna be a while.
Okay, so I'll give you time to think about yours. I'm gonna guess mine.
Okay, let's hear it.
Is it Omar Narvaez?
No, it's not.
It is not. Really?
No, it's not.
Wow.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Is your player a starting pitcher?
He is.
Okay.
So, is yours a starting catcher? Or is he kind of a second catcher, like a backup? He'll play 3 times a week instead of 4.
Yes, he's a backup catcher.
He is. Okay.
He's a serviceable catcher.
I know who yours is, I think. I know you got a little bit of Padres in you. Is it Jorge Alfaro?
Yes, it is.
Let's go. All right. So I got mine in 3 guesses. So let's see if you can beat my 3 guesses.
Wow. You've got me stumped, Brady Zenz.
And you like this guy.
Do I?
You do.
Whew.
You need me to repeat, most recently with an AL team, pitcher, 2 teams. 1 NL team, 1 AL team.
Ross Stripling?
He's not.
Okay. Oh boy.
And he's an alright pitcher.
Before I was gonna say Noah Syndergaard, but I forgot 3rd team in NL. That would have been stupid. Ooh. Michael Lorenzen.
It is. It's Michael Lorenzen.
Oh. Took me a little bit.
Yeah, you got it though. So now coming up is our segment that is strictly on Angels baseball. So if you're not interested in Angels baseball, whatever, you don't gotta watch. But if you're interested in, if you're an AL West rival, you want to know what Angels could possibly be doing, and what your team can do to stop them. I don't know, but so the segment is called Talking Angels. Potential trades and sightings. So what do you trade wise? What are you thinking?
I don't think they trade a lot.
You don't, okay?
I don't. If they do, it's for a bullpen piece, or if they don't get the big shortstops, Correa or Swanson, I think they trade for Ahmed Rosario.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of prospects.
I think that I don't see them making really any signings. I think it'll be more trades because they've made 2 trades, 2 signings, but their one signing was just Carlos Estevez or whatever his name is, relief pitcher. So
the Colorado Rockies.
Yeah.
Good solid reliever. I like what he has.
And they made 2 trades, one for Hunter Renfroe. I love that trade. And then Gio Urshela was the other trade. A good depth piece for when or if Rendon gets injured. Hopefully he can stay healthy for this season. If he can stay healthy, this Angels team is just a lot better.
Tony 2 months?
Yeah, Tony 2 months.
It's sad to hear. He's a great player, great leader.
It's more like
he just hasn't gone his way.
It's more like Tony 2 weeks, 2 days.
Right, yeah. Well, hopefully he turns it around and doesn't get injured this time. But you know what I like about Carlos Estevez? He's 6'6". He's kind of cheap, $13.5 million for 2 years. Gets a lot of swings and misses. 4-4 record and 2 saves with a 3.4 ERA in Coors Field. So away from Coors Field, he was a good pitcher.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, he had way better ERA away than home, but you kind of expect that from a pitcher coming from the Rockies. So I think if the Angels are making trades, I see them trading for a first baseman. I would prefer Luis Arias. I've heard rumors that the Twins are open-minded kind of to trading him. So I'd love to see us make a trade for Luis Arias. Had a fantastic season last year. So I feel like that would be a huge move for us if we got Arias. He batted
You should
316. Batted 316.
I love that. Do you know what the Angels need?
Average.
Gets on base, too. On-base monster. Like in Moneyball, they tell you, they get on base. You're going to make it to the playoffs if your team can get on base. Angels didn't get on base last year, didn't make the playoffs. We don't surround ourselves with good guys around Ohtani and Trout. That's the issue. We need to get guys who get on base like Luis Arias. Jared Walsh, if he can pick it up or gets traded to the Twins for Luis Arias, or he gets traded to the Rays for Tyler Glasnow, which is a great pickup. I love his frame. 6'8", throwing over 100. Who doesn't want that?
Yeah, I mean, so the thing I love even more about Luis Arias is his consistency. This isn't a fluke year where he batted 316. The 2021 batted 294. 2020 batted 321. 2019 batted 334. I mean, that's just
consistency.
Yeah, that's great consistency. Obviously, 2020 was a shortened year, but 2019 played 92 games, so he didn't play the whole season. Still 334 in 92 games. That is very impressive. 2021 294 in 121 games. So the guy can play. The guy is very, very much so a great batter.
He's very consistent, and that's what the Angels need. Angels lack in consistency every single year, and guys get injured.
Yeah.
Arias plays most of his games, and I think he played 162 last year.
He played 144, so close to 162. Played most of his games.
Yeah, and what did Walsh play? Close to none.
Yeah, I mean, the games that Walsh did play struck out in every single one of them. Walsh
250 batting average.
Walsh did play quite a bit. Batted in 118 games. He batted 215, 15 home runs. Other teams have the right to be interested in him, though. I mean, if you're gonna get the 2021 Jared Walsh, you're getting a 277 batter who hits 29 home runs. That is a very, very good year.
98 ribbies. That's good.
Yeah, the guy. If you're getting 2020 Walsh for Tyler Glasnow, I honestly think that you win the trade. You get a guy that's going to bat nearly 280 with 30 home runs. I mean, I'd rather that over an injury-prone pitcher. But the reason the Angels would do that for sure is because you don't know if Walsh will ever go back to that 2021 self. And you do need another pitcher, another righty preferably. But
they miss out on Senga. If they miss out on Kodai Senga, which I'll get into later.
Yeah, I would much rather have Senga.
Well, if you get Walsh, you get a first baseman and an outfielder, and maybe you could pitch a couple innings if you're down by a lot.
Yeah, the guy pitched. He pitched through the minor leagues.
As a two-way player. They say he's the next Shohei Ohtani without the pitching or the hitting.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're gonna get a little inconsistency. His injury last year wasn't common. It wasn't a
Yeah, it was
injury.
something syndrome. I don't know exactly what it was.
Thoracic outlet surgery. That reportedly gets you the yips for baseball.
I mean, yeah, he showed it. He showed those yips. It was painful to watch. It was sad to watch because I love Jared Walsh going into this season. I was so excited that we finally found ourselves another future first baseman. We could get rid. He was the reason that we got rid of Albert Pujols. So I mean, I love Jared Walsh. I loved his energy. I loved everything. But it seemed like last year he didn't have any energy. He didn't really show passion.
Yeah, he didn't produce. That's what the Angels need. That's what makes him valuable. But the condition he had goes through your nerves or blood vessels, and goes in your rib area, but it's been a more common injury around the league, like, recently. So it's a frequent injury for pitchers, mainly. And him being a pitcher, bringing up, I think that's what hurt him with this injury.
Yeah, I mean, if we don't end up trading him, I mean, see what he's got until like the trade deadline. If he proves to you he's just never gonna go back to that old self of his, you gotta trade him.
This injury won't happen again to him, by the way, because he's not a pitcher. So you won't see this injury come back from him.
Yeah, but it doesn't even really matter if he cannot get back to that 2021 him, then there's no reason any team should really want him.
For sure.
He's no value to a team if he's batting .215. Unless a team like the A's wants to just fill somebody in, like any real rebuilding team really. More signings I'd like the Angels to make would be like really any relief pitcher. Like,
yeah, they need to fill those 2 holes I feel like they have right now. Chris Rodriguez could go into that, which the Angels didn't have last year.
Mm-hmm.
He's a solid pitcher. Eats up innings.
Yeah, I mean, first round pick in I forget what year it was, but could be solid. He's young, so we'll see what he's got. He's a starting pitcher, but I think he can really slot in anywhere.
He's got a good base. 6'2".
Angels.
I like that.
So this summer, the potential signings Angels could make for relief pitching. There's Craig Kimbrell, Taylor Rogers, Andrew Chafin, Michael Fulmer, Chad Green.
I like Michael Fulmer.
Chad Green. There's those are some of the guys that will probably be the best for you. There's other guys like Matt Whistler. There's Luke Weaver. So
No, thank you. I'm good. I like Michael Fulmer. I like what he brings to the table.
Mm-hmm.
Rookie of the year with the Tigers in 16. I think he's got great potential. I can see him being an Angel. I also like Chad Green. He's known to be a good pitcher for the Yankees, or was.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to get Taylor Rogers or Craig Kimbrell. I know those are like the 2 big name guys, but when you look at it, they're the 2 best guys. I mean, Kimbrell's not the best, but I feel like getting him back to his old groove, he could be a very, very good closer. I mean, obviously not everyone will go back to their old self, but if he can go back to his old self, I know he's getting older. That's the main reason I wouldn't want him is age, depending on how much we would pay him. So if it was something like a 1-year, $10 million, $15 million deal, I would do that.
This seems like an Angels move, though. Getting old pitchers that used to be good and hoping they're good again.
Yeah. I mean, they tried last year. They got Aaron Loop, Ryan Tepera, both had pretty good years. Both of them
great years.
Both of them underperformed with the Angels.
Yeah. Oh, God. Ryan Loop was something. Ryan Loop was something last year. Oh, boy.
Yeah, Aaron Loop was not very good.
No. He was so good with the Mets. Oh, my goodness. Like, I think he had over a 1 ERA. Right under a 1 ERA.
Yeah.
And just blew it for us last year.
It was awful.
And I feel good. I feel bad because he's a great guy, wants to win, and it's hard to say this, Aaron Loop, but you didn't pitch that great for us last year, and we needed you in big games. We put you against the Red Sox and other great teams, and just didn't play good. I was very disappointed because that was my favorite pickup other than Michael Lorenzen of the free agency last year. And I do like Ryan Tepera. I think he's got good upside, just he didn't show it.
Yeah, the guy gave up way too many home runs last year. It was kind of embarrassing. Every pitch he threw was a home run. I believe it was like his
especially.
his first outing, I think he gave up like back-to-back home runs, and then he gave up one that went right to the track, but luckily got caught.
Somehow, Joe Adele caught that, and before that, he threw one right by the dugout from
Yep.
left field.
Yeah, yeah. We were both at that game, right?
Yeah. And we saw each other.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe Adele that's a good name that we can talk about. He can be great. He has so much talent, speed, power. He's athletic. He needs to get his defense better. He can't play left field. He's probably the worst left fielder in baseball last year.
Worst outfielder in general.
He was up there. His hitting needs to get up for sure.
And when we sent him back down to the minors, he was popping off. And then every time we bring him back up to the MLB, he just refuses to show his talent. He could be so good, but I don't know if it's the big stage of the MLB that just gives him the jitters, but he cannot perform very well in the MLB. And I think, personally, I feel like if we could trade him now and get really anything in return that is somewhat decent, maybe like a decent closer maybe and a first baseman, I think I would do that deal.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Because I don't believe that he will perform at all in his career in the MLB. I don't.
This is his year to get ready in the MLB. Get the jitters out, getting into the outfield, being a backup. Now he doesn't have the pressure of being a starter like he did last year. We brought him up too early. He's 23 years old. We have Hunter Renfroe. He's gonna be a good leader for him in left field, or Taylor Ward, whoever is playing left field.
Yeah, no, let's not forget about Taylor Ward. I was looking at some of his stats today, and batted .283, 23 home runs, I think, and then on top of that, he every home game, he was batting like .283. Every away game was like .263. In the month of April, batted like 393, I think, with like 8 home runs, or no, 5 home runs it was. But that's insane. If he can repeat what he did last year, he's in for a pretty decent sized contract.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I don't know how he'll transition in left field. I feel like keeping it the same way how he did last year, because left field was new to him, right? We don't want to really switch up the magic he had. Maybe Renfroe in left. Great arm. Decent defender, but great arm. Can play right or left. I'm fine with Taylor playing in left because he's not as fast as Hunter Renfroe. Taylor Ward gets a little lazy out there, I feel like. He's very slow closing into balls, and he could do a little bit better defensively. And he's a good arm, just not like Hunter Renfroe.
Yeah.
So, what do you think on Kodai Senga?
I would just love to get him. His stats, even if they're not in the MLB, those are almost impossible numbers.
Yeah.
Like, in the Japanese leagues, they may not have better hitters, but I don't care. If you're in any league putting up the numbers he's put up, I'm so impressed. So, this past season had a 1.94 ERA. 2021, 2.70. 2020, a 2.70. 2019, 2.79. 2018, he had a 180. 2017, a 2.64. I mean, it just goes on and on. But you get the point. He has had an incredible career in the Japanese leagues. So, if we can get him on a contract as soon as possible, that'd be pretty great.
For sure. He will definitely better the squad. But Ohtani and Senga at the 1-2, then Tyler Anderson at the 3, with a 6-man rotation.
That's a really
Sandoval,
good. That's a
Detmers,
really good
4 or 5.
rotation. I mean, Sandoval has got to be the most underrated pitcher in the AL, or maybe even in the league. I mean, the guy, he eats innings. He's a below 3.4 ERA pitcher. He had a very, very good breakout season last season.
He gets ground balls. He had a 3.5. What was it? 3.5 WAR, I think. He's a great pitcher, and he has a lot of upside. He gets ground balls. He gets soft contact. Pop flies to the outfield. He's just a great pitcher. His defense was awful behind him last year. That's where his losses came from, and he'd get in his head because the defense wouldn't play behind him. It was just him.
And on top of that, I thought he was like a 3.25 ERA. He had a 2.91 ERA last season. That is very good.
That's Phil. And making that your 4th best pitcher, I'd love that.
For sure. I mean, Angels, everyone thinks that the pitching with the Angels is the problem when nobody realizes it's the offense. All these non-Angel fans think that the pitching is awful. It's not. It was the best part of the team last year, besides Ohtani and Trout, obviously. I mean, Ohtani being a part of the pitching staff.
Yeah. And Detmers, I mean, he threw the no-hitter last year. It was great. And then he comes back from AAA after he got sent down. He becomes a great pitcher. Had like a 2.9 ERA when he came back.
Yeah.
He was a bulldog. He was our 2nd pitcher in the rotation.
Yeah,
He
in
played against the best teams. Like the Yankees. He was a contender. He wanted to play. He wanted to play hard. And for that to be our 5th starter, I love that. I love that so much.
Indeed.
And Suarez is going to pitch 6, and he has so much upside. He's a great pitcher. And with a 6-man rotation, it's beautiful. Is we give Ohtani a break, and we skip the 6th man if we ever have a day off or a rain out the day after.
Yeah, and Detmers, like you were talking about, Detmers had a 3.7 ERA last season, which isn't great, obviously, but his split stats between before and after he came back from AAA are completely different. Like you said, he had like a 2.9 after coming back up from AAA in the second half of the season. I don't know what that pitching coach did to him, but let's get him up to the majors immediately so we can get some better pitching. But our pitching was pretty solid last year, like we're saying. Suarez had nearly a 4 ERA this past season, but it was, once again, split stats. I think he had like a 3 ERA at the end of the season.
Yeah. I mean, to get that pitching coach out of the majors wouldn't be the worst idea. But I like Matt Wise. Great. He's been a great pitching coach so far. Getting us to the 6th best starting pitching in the league last year. I like that. I feel like getting the AAA pitching coach to our relief pitchers to talk to them would be great. But I think he's doing great developing our guys. And that's where he's best at.
Yeah, I mean, if we could get an assistant pitching coach, I think it would be that AAA guy, because
I'm pretty sure there is.
I think he should be the assistant. Then I mean, come on. If he really changes somebody like Detmers that much, there's good reason for him to be up.
For sure. I feel better with him developing our guys instead of being up here. We need guys for the future too.
Yeah. So, I mean, with that being said, there's not too much else to talk about. I think we've kind of covered everything we would like for this upcoming season from the Angels. Expecting a lot.
The guy from Driveline Baseball. I'll try to find his name. He's a really good pitching statistic guy. He's data driven, where he's gonna look at every little thing the pitching rotation does. Any of our guys, a lot of MLB players use Driveline. Like Clayton Kershaw uses him. Kenley Jansen, Alex Wood, Trevor Bauer. That's just to name a few. He he's going to be with us, and he's going to make us a better team. He's made Kershaw, Jansen, Wood, and Bauer look even better. You know.
Mm.
And I think the addition of the Yankees batting coach was a great addition because obviously he made Judge into what he is. Well, also Judge has the talent. He just told Judge what to do. But I like what Kyle Body's going to do for their pitching and the new hitting coach. I think you help Trout and Ohtani with a better hitting coach. Look at 50 home run seasons. Trout wasn't too far last year. He hasn't been too far for the last couple of years.
Yeah, and you add on top of that, Trout hit 40 home runs this past season, and he played like half of the games. I mean, the guy could have probably hit the same amount as Judge.
For sure. And if the balls weren't juiced for Judge, maybe it could happen for Trout.
Yeah. I mean, you want to see your best players succeed. So, I mean, maybe give Trout some juice balls, maybe.
That would be nice. Give
Just,
all of them to the Angels.
Hint.
Yeah, please do it.
Yeah, just don't do it to Jordan. That would not be ideal. Or you could do it to Ohtani. You could do it to Ohtani or Judge or Ohtani or Trout. I don't care.
Don't do it when Ohtani's pitching. Just do it when he's hitting.
Yeah.
And I like the overall team so far. There's still a lot to improve, obviously. I just think we're going in the right direction. I think the minor league system's getting better. We're improving. We're becoming pitching heavy. I like it.
Yeah. So, I mean, going in the right direction, like you said, but gonna need some more off-season moves. So we'll see, Perry.
We're not there yet. But, Perry, you're the man. Bring Santa to our team.
So, yeah.
Unload.
With that being said, thank you guys for tuning in and watching the podcast. See you next time.
Hopefully this wasn't a curveball for you. And, go Angels. I love the MLB. We love the MLB. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.